Well, top of the morning, you guys. I hope you are actually having a good Friday and things are going pretty smooth. That was weird, I know, but want to do something different. So, this is the 38th episode. Sorry, 38th episode of the Connect 777 podcast. And this is the place where human connection is everything. And I am your host, Thaddeus Sims. And I have a few things to go over. So, number one, you guys, I hope you've been seeing the shirt that I have been releasing all over my social media. That's one out of the eight. One out of the eight. Why am I having a hard time saying eight? One out of the 8 shirts to be released. So the next one will be released Monday, I believe Monday. So that one will be up as well. But this main one, again, guys, you totally got to check that out. I wanted to share with you. So since I released it, I was like, okay, you know what? Let me wear the shirt now, because you guys don't understand. It's been hard not to wear these shirts after I been getting them done and the photo shoots and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just sitting here okay, now I can finally wear my shirt and not where if anybody's looking, you know what I mean? Or I'm going to meet someone because I see everybody. So anyways, I wore the shirt. It's the low battery shirt. Look on the Instagram, Twitter, and whatnot, and you will see promoting it. And it's the low battery can't talk right now shirt. And like I said, that is the Florida inspired shirt where you have your sunglasses on, you got your earphones in, you just trying to get where you got to go. You ain't trying to talk to nobody. You're just trying to get in and out, get home, and go to bed. It's a very good shirt to wear after work. But I was like, okay, let me wear this. I went walking, exercising down Flagler, so to speak. I know some of you guys who don't live here don't mind me. I just went walking, god dang it. And there's usually a lot of people there. And I'm a very social person, so I usually say hello. I usually get a hello here and there. Not a single soul spoke to me. And I was just like, yes, this is going to be great. I finally have something that expresses how I feel when I am dog tired after a busy day of just business and or work. So you guys totally got to check that shirt out. So I'm telling you, if you are tired and you don't feel like dealing with nobody, and we have some of those people who just don't get the signs when the earphones are in and the sunglasses are on, that means please don't talk to me. I'm telling you, get that shirt. Go ahead. Just bless yourself with this shirt. I'm telling you. But fun fact, I know that was a whole rant on the shirt, but I was excited. So the fun fact is, well, I kind of knew this, but maybe some of you all didn't know this, so it wasn't that much of a shocker to me. But fun fact, any goddamn ways, no two dogs' nose prints are the same, much like human fingerprints. But I will say, as I'm speaking this out loud, I'm sorry for any dog lovers out there, but I'm the first thought that came into mind is I really wonder who put the little, when they get your fingerprint, so you have to touch the little black thing and you have to stamp it on something, right? So I'm thinking, did someone get a dog's nose and put it on that stuff and then grab its head and put it on a piece of paper? Looky here, Professor Scott. You see, this Chihuahua's nose print is not the same as the German Shepherd's. What do you mean, Professor John? What do you mean? Well, if you would get the Chihuahua over here and the German Shepherd, stick their face in this and put on this page. I don't know. I know y'all probably really judging me right now. I kind of judging myself a little bit too, but I don't know. It just made me think how did they find this out? How did they test this? This is a very good question to ask. I am a person to ask questions, so don't judge me, guys. But the title you may think is a bit interesting, mysterious in a way, but the title of this podcast is That One Person. And I have to breathe because this is one of those. So that I already know what that means. This is gonna be a podcast of exposure and some other feelings and things like that. So, that one person. Now, this is that one person that we all have in common, and I've been talking about this with a friend of mine. It's like a few weeks ago, and then it came up again with another friend, and there were other reminders in between. And that one person is that individual who you may have had a connection with, a relationship with of some sort, and it is best that they're no longer part of your life, but you almost always think about them. There may be days you don't, but they always pop up in your head. You'll think of them and it annoy you, or you may miss them or things like that. And there was a very good reason why you don't need to be talking with that individual. But there are still some very deep feelings that come up when you see that individual, or you see someone that reminds you of that individual, or you see someone that resembles that individual, their features, their body features, the way they talk, the way they act, all types of things. And it keeps reminding you of that individual. Yay, right? No. And we do our best to not think of that individual. And some of us get annoyed a little bit. And, we go on about our lives and we keep it moving. But I guess we're going to talk about that in this episode because that's what came to me to talk about, apparently. So, you know me, I can't ignore the intuition. So this is for some of you guys who may be struggling with that one person like I have in the past. But I'm not going to lie, some parts of it still do come up. So let us really talk about this. This is going to be a very free form style. So this is going to be like story time. So I would literally just say, just kind of like, well, I won't say sit back because I know half of you guys listen to this while you're driving. So don't really sit back, but relax a little bit and enjoy the story. So that one person, we think about them, we have deep feelings and things like that. But what do you do? What do we really do with that individual? Like, we know it's best. Like, we don't talk with them, but they still come up. So what the heck do we do? We can say, oh, not think about them, but that doesn't work. We can say, oh, we're just going to stop talking to them. But some of us may have that weakness where they message us or whatever, and we end up talking to them. So what do we actually do about that? I'm here to share this with you guys. So here's the first thing you do. Number one is actually face what the heck they did or what the heck was going on in the relationship. So here we go. For me, there's an individual. I am not going to say their name because it just reminded me of like this conversation I had with someone. I was like, I don't want to say their name because I feel like I'm giving them life. And I don't want to do that. So, and also too, I didn't ask like that individual if I can say their name on the podcast. So there's that too. Thank you. But the first thing I will say is with the individual is facing whatever the heck it was. Maybe it need to be some healing or whatnot. No, we're not even going to hit that. We're going to really just say face it. Like take some time when you're alone, when they usually sneak up in your mind, and really like look at it for what it is. Really analyze and observe what it is that you keep thinking about that individual. And you'll be very surprised like what will come up to you. You may have a lot of emotions that may come up, and you may not want to deal with that, but I'm telling you, if you can get through that part, which is hard. That is much easier said than done. Because to be honest with you guys, it took me a lot just to even record this podcast. I really had to like sit down with myself and like, oh, I really don't even want to I don't even want to have a whole episode dedicated to this individual. But it's not about me. It's about helping everyone else out. So I had to have a personal one with myself. Once I decided to look at it and face it and actually, ask myself, because I will tell you guys, I was like, I don't think I could do an episode on this, because I'm like, I don't even know if I can say I even officially 100%, got through this. So I feel like I'd be a hypocrite recording this episode, but my intuition, all that, and whatnot was basically telling intuition and spirit was just basically telling me like, okay, you're having your moment. Look at what you've done. And it took me some time to get past the emotions part to actually look at what I've done. And then that's when the understanding kicked in. And I was like, okay. Then I started laughing and I was like, okay, so I can do an episode on this, because I'm not going to lie to you guys. I thought I was going to be a hypocrite, but I'm not. Thank you. So facing it, having to face it. And then there's the emotions involved. Getting past the emotions, whatever way you got to do it, get past the emotions to actually face, what it is that they have you feeling. And so for me, when I did that, what I came to realize with what I've done to get over the individual, so to speak. So what it is that I did, whatever, was that the first step was that I really had to heal from that individual and the relationship. Very deep relationship, connection, things like that. And for some of us, since this is a podcast where we talk about the human connection, we need to throw sex in there, because that is a huge part about the human connection that a lot of people don't want to talk about, but we're going to go in there. Sex was involved with this individual and whatnot. So, when you have, there's sex involved with people, there's some deep connections that go into the mix of things like that. So very deep connections and whatnot. And so I really had to look at that and really say, okay, what is it that I really needed to heal from? And what it was the way the relationship ended. And, at that time, it took a little bit over 3 years, I think, or I know it was more. No, it wasn't less than 3 years. So I'm gonna say 3 years, maybe, or more. About 3 years or so to get over the relationship and how it ended and stuff like that. So I really had to go through that process of facing it for what it was, and healing. Like, okay, they did this. They made me feel this way. I accept that, I can't change the past, blah, 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 blah. So I really had to go through my healing process with that individual. I also had to, really heal from them. And I also had to really kind of heal myself more internally, in a sense of like, okay, hey, like if you knew this, you wouldn't have done it. You didn't know that, blah, blah. So I really had to have a lot of self-talk and, go through that. And there was lots of healing. There was lots of forgiveness. And over time, it took that weight off of my heart or whatnot with that individual. So I did successfully get over that, like, because I would not be able to talk about that if I did not. So that was like, okay, I remember that. Remember that whole process. That's the first thing having to do, is really healing yourself and healing that whole situation and forgiving that individual and yourself. And I did a whole podcast on like healing and forgiveness, an episode. So, that's in there. But, that's a whole process. Everybody's process is different. So that's the first step. After that healing and whatnot, there came understanding, wisdom, so to speak. And I really had to look at that relationship and just see what it was that, was happening, how we talked, how I acted, how I didn't, I don't know if y'all can relate to this, but when you have that one individual, sometimes your priorities can be persuaded, so to speak, or moved a little bit, or whatever you want to call it. They can be shifted for that one individual because you love them and you care about them and you want to make sure they're okay, blah, blah, blah. And all of that. But it was a lot of understanding of basically what it came down to is like, this isn't good for me. Like this isn't healthy. This isn't like really good for me. This doesn't serve me. This is doing more harm than good. And I really had to look at that. Like after the healing, it allowed me to really, really look at it, not from the position of someone being hurt, and someone who was in pain, but in position of, okay, like I've been there, got through the pain, healed from that. But now I'm able to look at it from a place of understanding, like, wow, I noticed that when there was stuff that I had to do, I would push him to the side and like help this individual. When that individual was in trouble, I would go out of my way, god dang it, to drive and make sure that person was okay when I had to be to motherfucking work 5 hours from then or so. Like when I say be there, I mean be there. Like I know it's going to take me some time to get up, to go to sleep, one, then get up and then be to a place. And I'm over here, like all of that stuff, making sacrifices that I need to make. I wasn't thinking clearly and all of that because I love that individual. So again, the second part was like the understanding. I really had to look at it and understand that this person, it was more harmful for me than it was good. I wouldn't say it was toxic, because when I think of toxic, I think of like some crazy stuff like abuse and stuff like that, and it wasn't. But it was just more like I wasn't as focused, and the things that I needed to do was, put at jeopardy. So that understanding kicked in. The third thing that came to mind was what I've discovered with that one person is that they are your biggest, and I hate to say this, I really do, and hate is a strong word, so that's why I'm using it, but I hate to say this, but though that one person is your biggest teacher, oh my gosh, can't believe it. I really want to get some soap and wash out my mouth, but anyways, they're like your biggest teacher, and I say that because they reveal. And that has been a thing lately. That's been the word, reveal. But anyways, they reveal a lot of things about yourself. They really like flash like a huge spotlight on parts of yourself that you really need to look at, and or maybe weaknesses that, you may need to, fix. Or I may say holes within you that you may need to fill up. And what I would say is, since the next thing was knowing that they were like that biggest teacher, I really had to allow myself to be in that position of, okay, I healed myself. I seeked understanding. Now I'm in this position to learn from what this person provided, and being real and authentic here. I learned just like things about myself that they revealed. I realized that, when it came to it, they really taught me a lot about when it comes to sex and connection, because a lot of people, I think I did a topic on this maybe briefly, but a lot of people, it was brief. It wasn't a whole episode, but a lot of people, don't care to know, or may not be aware of, like, when you have sex with an individual, there are some energies being combined there. And, there are some deep connections that are happening. Like you guys are connecting on more than just a physical level. And that's a whole like episode on stuff. I think I actually may have a guest speaker, and we're probably going to have a whole episode on that topic. So you can hear from not just my perspective, but from a woman's perspective as well. But anyways, I learned more just about like that connection and just that sexual energy connection. And just things about that. Like for me, when it came to just the whole sex thing, it was just like, okay, I'm not the type to just have sex to have sex. Like I learned from that individual that for me, it was more of a connection, a deeper connection that I seeked. Sex was part of it, but it wasn't the main thing. It was like, oh, okay, yeah, we did that. But it was just a more of a gateway to that connection that I wanted. And so that revealed that for me when it came to, okay, me as a person who would have sex, it's just like, okay, yeah, that's my thing. I seek the connection. And they taught me that. That was the biggest thing that that was one of the biggest things as well. They also taught me the stuff that I tolerated that I shouldn't have tolerated. So be it like if we were communicating, I would go out of my way to talk with them, check up on them and things like that. But vice versa, they didn't do it to me. But because I love them, I tolerated when they didn't do the same in return, or they seemed a bit cold when we like talked and stuff like that. And I also just kind of felt like when they were going through stuff, they would just, call up on me and I would help them. But, besides that, they were busy and stuff like that. So it revealed a lot of things that I tolerated and a lot of things that I allowed that really kind of hurt myself. So, which was like a big, like, woof, really looking at it, it was just like, wow, this is actually revealing a lot. And what was annoying about this is that I'm a type, I really like to reflect, but when you really have to reflect and you look back on stuff like this, and it really makes you face like, okay, this is all the stuff that you did to make it that way. So, here you are. And that was kind of like a blow to the soul right there. It's just like, wow, I'm really seeing a lot of these things that are revealed in who I was. I'm just trying to think with you guys. Like, it also revealed good things of being a very caring person and things like that. And I realized that it revealed that I can be very caring and I do give a lot. I am a giver. But it also, with that individual, it also showed me what happens when I give to the wrong type of people. And fortunately for me, I did not let that consume me to a way that I decided that I would no longer give. Instead, it revealed that I am a giver, but I just need to be cautious of who I give to instead of, just closing it off. And it also revealed a lot of strength that I had to really actually one, to do this podcast about them, and then two was to let this reveal the healing, the effects of it, the gravity of it. Like, wow, I was actually able to really look at that and see what was my fault. Because I feel like a lot of people may say, I don't like this person, blah, blah, blah. Or I don't like this sign because blah, blah, blah. It's really like, okay, no, you have to actually look and see you messed up too. And they revealed just many things about myself at the time that caused that pain and a lot of other things within myself. And so that was the third thing I would say. So first was the healing, second was understanding, and then third was revealing. Now, the fourth thing is, you would think after you learned the lesson, you would think, okay, you're good. And I felt, okay, I was like, good. Wow. Like I healed. I actually feel good. I can actually say this person's name, go down the street, go past the exit or go down the exit that this person used to live on, and it doesn't make me feel a certain way. And it's very funny, you guys. Like, when you really think about it, it's very funny. And I know y'all can relate to this. I'm actually just bringing this crazy stuff out into the light and into the public. Again, this is all about the human connection, and we have these things. But I'm telling y'all, I'm sure y'all have had something where something reminded you of that person and it made you feel a certain type of way when you weren't on good terms with them. Like, every time I drove past a certain exit, my heart was just like, ugh. And then once I passed it, I felt a little bit better. I was just like, ugh. But anyways, going to the fourth thing, you would think, yeah, I was good. I was good, and I really was. But you would think, I was good. I didn't think about them for some time, and then they would come back up. And this is where I say, I would see people who resembled the individual. I would see people or see all types of things that just reminded me of this person. And I'm just like, okay. And then it just kind of kicks back in and I start thinking of all the things that we did, the good stuff, not just the sex, but like the actually good time. There was a lot of positive things that happened in the relationship too. But it was just still kind of kick back in. And it's just like, why? And I was aware that the lessons wasn't done. And so I would ignore it, push it to the side, keep it moving, focus on what I needed to do, and even focus on different relationships. But still, the individual would still come up, and I was also aware too. Actually, yes, it I'm making sure I got this in order now, because I was aware of a lot of stuff too. But going straight into it, let me just go into it. The next thing that came about with the individual was that the lessons wasn't over, and it also brought about a question. It brought questions to me that I never thought to ask myself. So after learning, after the lessons and things like that, the questions came. Why does this person keep coming back to me? Why do I keep thinking about this individual? There must be something there. I don't want this person back in my life. Why does it come up? And when I really looked at that and I really sat down with the questions, what was coming to me was that when I would see these individuals that reminded me of them, the questions brought up something that I didn't really want to face. Was that they brought up the questions that revealed that there was a lack in something within me. And I was just like, crap, so it's still more to this. And I'm here to say that if you're still thinking about that person keeps coming up, or you keep seeing people that remind you of the individual, that is like a sign, or there is something that you're giving off that is reminding you of a lack. And how you discover that lack is really look at, okay, what is it about that individual? What did they give you? And so for me, it was just like I missed that connection. And so I would see individuals that would remind me of things. So it reminded me that I lacked that particular connection that I had with an individual. And I wanted that. And so that's why I would have those feelings or keep thinking about the individual. And that's a very hard pill to swallow. But hell, when you face it and you trying to get through it, it works out. So that was the questions part. And it revealed again, it was the lack. And so I really had to look in there and just say, okay, so that's what that is. That's why that person keeps coming up. Okay. What it is, that is the lack. That is there. That my lack is that connection that I wanted. And that was just kind of like, whew, okay. So here's the next thing. I'm making sure I keep this in order. Like I said, this is like a story. So I'm making sure I keep this in order. So there was the healing. Gosh, I'm trying to keep this in order. But anyways, you get it. There's parts of this. I'm gonna bring this all together. But yes. So after the questions came about, and understanding that it was the lack of it, that's what that next thing was. The next part was awareness, and I became aware that there were still minor but important parts of me that still cared for the individual, still loved the individual, and still, wanted that individual. And I had to accept that, like, okay, yeah, this is what it is. You know what I mean? I cared about the person. It is what it is. I got these feelings, blah, blah, blah. But once I did that, I noticed that it put me in a position to accept it and to confess it be real with myself. And then I was able to have that talk with myself where it was just like, okay, you know, you got all of this stuff, but what? Now what? Now it's just like, okay, if this person was to come to you now, what are you going to do? And it was just like, you know, I'm not going to do anything, because it was just like, with all of the stuff that I had to go through with this person, you know, granted, I learned a lot, but all the stuff that I had to go through, the lessons that I had to go through with this individual, and what it revealed about me is just like, it's not worth it. I don't want to be with that individual. It's like, now it's like being in that position where you're fully on board emotionally, you know, physically, spiritually, all of that. It's like you got all the pieces now to really say, I don't need this person. I don't want to be with this person. Parts of me do, little parts of me do, and then because I did love that individual, but I understand that they're not right for me. They will do more harm to me than anything. It's just not serving the person who I am. And staying in that, it's like it just feels good to just say it now that you know. And once you do that, there's things that you have to like do to really reinforce that. So one of the things that I had to do was, you know, I had to cut off my communications with this individual. I had their number, deleted the text conversations. And you know, that's a big thing. Like, you know, for some people who not in this generation, I'm going to tell you, when you delete whole text conversations, that's when it's serious. You can delete a number, but when you delete that text conversation, that is a very serious matter. That's like divorce in the Gen Y. That's what we are. I think we the Gen Y. I don't know. Millennial, whatever they term us now. That's like divorce in our world. When we delete the whole text conversation, that's like divorce. So, you know, that's a big thing. I deleted the text conversation, so there was no way I can text a person or call them, because I don't remember numbers like that. I don't even think we're friends. Maybe we are still friends on Facebook, but I think I blocked the communication or something like that. So I can't call them, not texting them, can't text them, don't have their number. They're barely on Facebook, I would say. I think even when we were like together, they were barely on Facebook. So there's that. And I think it's just on Messenger that they can reach me on. But even then, it's just like I'm in this position where, you know, I know that when they do message me, it's more for them, not me. And it's just like I can delete the thing. But at the same time, we were cool. Things were cool and things like that. So it's kind of like, but I don't really talk to the individual. So I had to really, you know, cut off and stop my communications with that individual. Heck, it's rare that I see the individual in person, but, you know, still respectful and things like that, not cool and whatnot. But it's just a reminder, just like, I don't want you. I know that you are not, you know, the best for me. And I would say once you get through that, you start to feel better. And I will say the thoughts may still come. And I'm not at this particular point, guys, where I can say I am in a relationship with someone and I don't think of that person. So I cannot tell you that if you're with someone after you've healed, if that person may pop up here and there. I can't tell you that, and I'm not going to tell you that because I'm not there yet. But I will say you do feel much better internally. That's the best right there. You feel better internally. But you know, you just know that you don't deserve it. You have a clear picture. You have an understanding. Everything's on board. And again, this is just more of like, I guess I'm sharing this with you guys so you can, I guess, get past like these levels of things with that one person. Because honestly, I'm going to be really honest with you guys. I kind of don't feel like I'm like usually it's like, okay, yeah, been there, done that. We're at the 100%. Boom. Like, I feel like I got you guys at the 95% mark. And if y'all know me, I'm a 100. I'm a 100 0.00% guy. And really, sometimes I really want to be 100.999 guy. But anyways, I feel like I got you guys at the 95% mark. And it's kind of like, I feel like I could do better. But I feel like, some people are stuck at, the healing part. And so I feel like I just want to get you guys through those levels of this. And gosh, help me if I remember these steps. Y'all can rewind it. But I really feel like, like there was the first step, the healing and getting over that. I'm not even going to try to remember these steps. I said it. I numbered them. Y'all can rewind it. But yes, I just feel like there's these steps that I want to get you guys through when it comes to that one person, because I'm noticing that we all have that one person. And it's just, I'm seeing it in different age groups, no matter what ethnicity, no matter what generation, there is that one person. And if you haven't got over the healing part, what they reveal to you, whatnot, awareness, yada, 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 like you can get through it. It can be annoying. But anyways, I will say, I guess I'm going to have to just leave you guys at the 95%. And once you get to 95%, I guess you guys can do the 5% yourself. There we go. Maybe that's what it is. I can help you get so far, but at the end of the day, when this podcast episode is over, it's up to you to get through it and get to your 100% in your own way. So that is really it, guys. I hope that this story / tangent helped you get through it with that one person, and just understand that unfortunately enough, they are like your teacher, and they will reveal a lot of things. And speaking as a person from this side of the fence of it, it does make you a better person. It does reveal many things about yourself that you may have not known if you didn't go through that experience. And when you do, you're able to fill up those weaknesses or those holes within, yourself. And you'll be prepared. You'll know what you like, what you don't like. You'll be able to heal yourself. You'll be able to just learn the lessons that you need to learn and, move forward. Keep it moving. Meet the right one. Hell, you might even share your story on whatever platform you have it. But I will say it does feel better not to be in that position of I can't stand that individual. Ugh. So for some of you guys who may be asking, well, where's that person now? I have no goddamn clue. And I'm okay with that. I don't even know if they're still in Florida. They may be. I don't know. But if I see them again, and I'm hoping I don't, but god dang it, knowing me, no, I'm not going to speak it. If I see them again, and we're going to keep it moving, be respectful, and I'm going to keep it going. So with that being said, guys, I would like to say thank you for your time and your patience for dealing with this episode. I know this was a bit different, very freeform. But again, I hope you got something out of this, and I hope you move through these levels. You guys are fantastic. I really appreciate you all. And also, I've been saying this, but another shout out to the UK. I've been noticing the numbers have been growing over there in the UK. So welcome to the family, guys. I don't know, by all means represent, by all means comment, leave something, it's cool. I've been noticing it's been growing over there. So that's what's up. So I appreciate you guys, and appreciate you guys for the support of the podcast. I've been noticing you all sharing the post from the pages and whatnot, and just sharing the podcasts with your family members. And you guys are awesome. So also too, you may be in for a surprise this Tuesday. There may be a guest speaker Tuesday. We just have to finalize things. But, so if you just hear me, then no, it didn't go through. But if you hear that other individual, you will be in for something, because this individual is super cool. Like, she is awesome. I'm hoping that it works out, because you guys really need to hear her. Like, she blows my mind, and she's super cool. But anyways, that being said, you guys have a fantastic rest of your day, and we will talk soon. Later.